14 years ago, Jade Armstrong was disowned, cast out with nothing but a duffel bag and a broken heart. Now she's back, crashing her sister's lavish wedding with a secret that could destroy her family's perfect facade. Armed with evidence, a powerful husband, and a thirst for justice, Jade turns a day of celebration into a reckoning. Lies unravel, legacies crumble, and one woman rises from the ashes. This is her story. A tale of revenge, truth, and triumph. My name is Jade Armstrong, and for 14 years I was a ghost to my family. At 18, they threw me out like trash, disowned me with a slammed door and a few choice words I'll never forget. "You're no daughter of ours," my father had said, his voice cold as steel. My mother just stood there silent, clutching her pearls like they'd protect her from the shame of me. My crime? I dared to dream beyond their suffocating little world. I refused to be their perfect puppet. So they cut me off. No money, no home, no goodbye. Just me, a duffel bag, and a one-way bus ticket to nowhere. Fast forward to now. I'm 32 and I've clawed my way up from nothing. I've built a life they'd never believe because they never thought I'd survive. But I didn't just survive. I thrived. And today, I'm standing in the grand foyer of the Crestwood estate, staring up at crystal chandeliers that glitter like 1,000 tiny lies. The air smells of money, old money, and the faint perfume of roses. My sister Abigail's wedding is the event of the season, a spectacle of excess for the elite who never gave a damn about me. The invitation didn't have my name on it. I wasn't supposed to be here, but I am. And I'm not here to clap politely or sip champagne. I'm here to burn it all down. The dress I'm wearing is sleek, black, and tailored to perfection. Nothing like the hand-me-downs I grew up in. My husband, Ethan, stands beside me, his hand resting lightly on my lower back. He's tall, sharp-jawed, and exudes a quiet power that makes people look twice. They don't know he's a self-made tech mogul who could buy this estate 10 times over. To them, he's just the mystery man on my arm. Good. Let them underestimate us. It'll make this sweeter. "Ready?" Ethan murmurs, his voice low and steady. He knows what this day means to me. He's seen the files, the photos, the years of evidence I've collected like a hunter stalking prey. He's the only one who knows the whole truth, and the only one I trust to stand with me when the chaos hits. I nod, smoothing my expression into something calm, almost serene. Let's give them a show. The ballroom doors swing open and we step inside. The chatter dies down as heads turn. I feel their eyes like pinpricks. Some curious, some confused, a few outright hostile. Abigail's at the center of it all, radiant in her ivory gown, her groom beside her looking every bit the polished prince. She's laughing, her blonde curls bouncing until she sees me. Her smile freezes, then falters. The glass in her hand trembles just enough to betray her. "Jade?" she says, her voice a mix of disbelief and something darker. Fear, maybe? "What are you doing here?" The room goes quieter still. My mother's gasp is audible from across the floor. My father's face hardens, his jaw tightening like it did the day he threw me out. The relatives, uncles, aunts, cousins, who smirked and whispered behind my back, stare like I'm a ghost risen from the grave. In a way, I am. "I wouldn't miss my little sister's big day," I say, my tone light but edged with steel. I step forward, Ethan matching my pace. "It's been too long, hasn't it?" Abigail's groom, some Wall Street hotshot named Preston, frowns. "Who's this?" he asks, glancing at my sister like she's supposed to explain me away. "She's family," Abigail says, forcing a smile that doesn't reach her eyes. "Jade, this isn't the time." "Oh, I think it's the perfect time," I cut in, my voice carrying just enough to draw more eyes. "A wedding's about family, right? Unity, truth, all that good stuff." My mother steps forward, her heels clicking on the marble. "Jade, please don't make a scene." "Me? Make a scene?" I laugh softly, and it's the sound that makes her flinch. I haven't even started. Ethan squeezes my hand, a silent signal to pace myself. He's right, I've waited 14 years for this. I can wait a few more minutes to let the tension build, let them squirm, let them wonder why I'm here, what I know, what I'm about to do. The band strikes up a waltz, and the moment breaks. People turn back to their drinks, their small talk, but the air's different now, thicker. They're watching me from the corners of their eyes, waiting for the other shoe to drop. Good, let them sweat. I lead Ethan to the bar, keeping Abigail in my peripheral vision. She's whispering furiously to Preston, her hands gesturing in sharp, panicked little movements. My father's already on his phone, probably calling security, or maybe his lawyer. He always did think money could fix anything, not this time. What's the plan? Ethan asks, leaning against the bar with a casualness that's almost convincing. First we mingle, I say, taking a sip of water. No alcohol for me tonight, I need a clear head. Let them think I'm just here to stir the pot. Then when they're nice and comfortable, I drop the bomb. He smirks. You're terrifying, you know that? Only to people who deserve it. The next hour passes in a blur of fake smiles and awkward small talk. Aunt Marjorie asks what I have been up to, her tone dripping with condescension. I tell her I run a non-profit that saved thousands of lives, true by the way, and watch her choke on her champagne. Cousin Derek, who used to call me trailer trash behind my back, tries to hit on me until Ethan steps in with a look that could freeze lava. It's almost fun playing this game, letting them think they've got me figured out, but they don't, not even close. The real fun starts when the speeches begin. Abigail's maid of honor is mid-toast, gushing about how perfect my sister is when I decide it's time. I stand, glass in hand, and clear my throat. The room quiets again, all eyes on me. Mind if I say a few words? I ask, not waiting for permission. I step into the center of the floor, the spotlight catching me just right. I mean, it's not every day your baby sister gets married. I'd hate to miss my chance to celebrate. Abigail's face goes white. My father's hand tightens around his drink. My mother looks like she might faint. Here we go. The spotlight feels warm on my skin, but inside I'm ice cold, focused. The room's gone so quiet I can hear the faint clink of a glass somewhere in the back. Abigail's staring at me, her perfect wedding day glow replaced by a mask of dread. Preston's got that confused, entitled look men like him get when their world tilts off axis. My parents are statues, my father's knuckles white around his tumbler, my mother clutching her clutch like it's a lifeline. They know something's coming, they just don't know how bad it's going to get. I won't take long, I say, my voice steady, projecting to every corner of this gilded cage. I just want to share a little family history, for old time's sake. Someone coughs, a few guests shift in their seats. Ethan's still by the bar, watching me with that quiet intensity I have come to rely on. He's my anchor, but this is my storm. 14 years ago, I begin. I was told I wasn't good enough to be an Armstrong. I was too loud, too stubborn, too inconvenient, so they cut me loose, told me to disappear, and I did for a while. But here's the thing about disappearing. It gives you time to see things clearly, to dig, to find out what's really been going on behind the pretty curtains. Abigail takes a step forward, her voice sharp. Jade, stop. This isn't the place, isn't it? I turn to her, locking eyes. A wedding's about vows, right? Promises, truth. I think it's the perfect place to talk about the promises this family's broken. The maid of honor, some perky blonde named Tiffany, tries to intervene, giggling nervously. Maybe we should get back to the toast. Sit down, Tiffany, I say, not even looking at her. She sits. I reach into my clutch and pull out a small folded stack of papers. Nothing dramatic, just a few sheets creased from years of handling, but they're dynamite and everyone in this room's about to feel the blast. Exhibit A, I say, holding up the first page. A bank statement from 2011, Armstrong Family Trust. Funny thing about trust funds, they're supposed to be well trustworthy, but this one's got some interesting withdrawals. 50,000 here, 20,000 there, all funneled into an offshore account nobody bothered to mention to the IRS. My father's on his feet now, his face red. That's enough, Jade. You have no right. No right? I cut him off, my voice rising just enough to make him flinch. I had no rights when you threw me out with nothing, but I've got rights now, rights to the truth. And this? I wave the paper. This is just the warm-up. The guests are whispering now, heads bent together like vultures sensing blood. I catch snippets. Tax evasion? Offshore? Who is she? And it fuels me. I unfold the next sheet. Exhibit B, a letter from Mom to her lawyer dated 2 months after I left. Ensured Jade receives no further contact or support. Nice touch, Mom. Really drives home the family values. My mother's hand flies to her mouth, her eyes wide. That's private, she gasps. Privacy's a luxury you lost when you decided to bury me, I fee-fee, my tone flat. But don't worry, it gets better. I hold up the third sheet, and this one's the kicker. Exhibit C, a police report, filed then mysteriously dropped, October 15, 2010. A hit and run in our old neighborhood. A teenage girl, me, almost killed by a black Mercedes registered to one Richard Armstrong, my father. Funny how that never made it to trial? Even funnier how I woke up in a hospital bed with a concussion and nobody could explain why. The room erupts, gasps, murmurs, a few outraged shouts. Abigail's crying now, mascara streaking her face. Preston's yelling something at my father, who's storming toward me like he can still shut me up with a glare. But I'm not 18 anymore, I don't flinch. Jade, you're lying, he roars, close enough I can smell the whiskey on his breath. You've always been a liar. Am I? I step back, calm as ever, and gesture to Ethan. He moves forward, pulling a tablet from his jacket. With a tap, he projects an image onto the blank wall behind me. A grainy security cam still of that black Mercedes, license plate clear as day, time-stamped the night of the accident. Lies don't come with evidence, Dad, I say, but the truth does. The crowd's losing it now. Some are standing, craning for a better look. Others are backing away, like they don't want to be associated with the fallout. Abigail's sobbing into Preston's chest, and he's looking at her like he's rethinking the whole I do thing. My mother's collapsed into a chair, her face in her hands. I could stop here. I've already done enough damage to ruin their night, to ruin their precious image, but I'm not done. Not even close. Because the real secret, the one that'll shred what's left of this family's legacy, isn't about money or a car accident. It's bigger, darker, and it's been eating me alive for years. I turn to the crowd, my voice steady despite the adrenaline pumping through me. You're probably wondering why I'd come back after all this time, why I'd crash a wedding just to air dirty laundry. It's not about revenge, though I won't lie, this feels good. It's about justice for me. For someone else, you've all forgotten. I pause, letting that sink in. The room's hanging on my every word now, hooked. Even my father's gone still, his anger replaced by something that looks a lot like fear. Her name was Lily, I say, and the name alone feels like a blade in my chest. And she was my sister too. The silence that follows is deafening. Abigail's head snaps up, her eyes wild. What are you talking about? She whispers. I smile, but it's not a happy one. Oh, Abby, you didn't think you were the only secret they kept, did you? The name Lily hangs in the air like smoke after a gunshot. Abigail's staring at me, her mouth open, tears streaking her perfect makeup. The guests are frozen, caught between shock and morbid curiosity. My father's face has gone gray, and my mother's sobbing quietly into her hands. They know what's coming, or at least they think they do, but they don't know the half of it. Lily, I repeat, letting the word settle. You don't remember her, do you, Abby? That's because they made sure you wouldn't. She was born 3 years before me, 4 years before you, our big sister, but she didn't fit the Armstrong mold either. Too wild, too free. Sound familiar? I turned to my parents, my gaze cutting through them. You couldn't control her, could you? So you got rid of her, just like you got rid of me. Only Lily didn't get a bus ticket. She got a one-way trip to nowhere. What the hell are you talking about? Preston snaps, stepping forward like he's still in charge of this sinking ship. This is insane. Abigail, who is this woman? She's my sister, Abigail whispers, her voice breaking. But I don't know any Lily. Of course you don't, I say, my tone softening for a moment. You were just a kid when it happened. They didn't want you asking questions, but I was old enough to remember. Old enough to hear the fights, the yelling, the doors slamming. Old enough to see Lily's stuff disappear overnight, her clothes, her books, that little stuffed rabbit she carried everywhere. One day she was there, the next she was gone. And when I asked where she went, you told me. I point at my father, my voice rising. You told me she went away, that she didn't want us anymore. My father's shaking his head, his voice hoarse. That's enough, Jade. You're twisting everything. Twisting, I laugh, and it's a bitter, jagged sound. I was 8 years old, Dad. 8. And you let me think my sister abandoned me, but she didn't run, did she? She didn't leave by choice. I pull another document from my clutch. This one's heavier, worn at the edges from how many times I've held it, read it, cried over it. This is a medical report, I say, holding it up. Dated June 12, 1999. Lily Armstrong, age 11, admitted to St. Mary's Hospital with a broken arm, bruises, and signs of malnutrition. The ER doctor filed a report with Child Services, suspicion of abuse, but that report never went anywhere, did it? Because 2 days later, Lily vanished and the case was closed. Money talks, right? Especially when you've got enough to bribe a social worker and a cop. The room's buzzing now, a low hum of outrage and disbelief. A woman in a sequined dress whispers, "Abuse," loud enough for everyone to hear. My mother's sobs turn into a wail, and my father lunges forward, trying to grab the paper from my hand. Ethan's there in an instant, stepping between us, his voice low and lethal. "Touch her and you'll regret it." My father stops short, breathing hard, his eyes wild. "You don't know what you're doing, Jade. You're ruining everything." "Good," I say, stepping around Ethan. "It's about time." I turn back to the crowd, holding up the report for them to see. Lily didn't run away. She didn't abandon us. She was taken by them. I point at my parents. I spent years tracking her down. Years of dead ends, locked files, and lies, but I found her, or what was left of her. I pause, swallowing the lump in my throat. This part still hurts, even after all this time. Lily's buried in an unmarked grave in a little cemetery outside Reno. No headstone, no name, just a number. I found the records 3 years ago. Cause of death undetermined. But the coroner noted old fractures, signs of long-term neglect. She was 13 when she died, alone, forgotten, because I jab a finger at my parents, decided she was too much trouble to keep. Abigail's on her knees now, her gown pooling around her like spilled milk. "No," she's saying over and over. "No, no, no." Preston's backing away, his face pale. "Abigail, what is this? What's going on?" "She didn't know," I say, glancing at him. "She was too young. They kept her in the dark, just like they tried to keep me. But I wouldn't stay quiet, not then, not now." My father's voice cuts through the chaos, desperate and ragged. "You've got it all wrong, Jade. Lily was sick. She was troubled. We tried to help her." "Help her?" I whirl on him. "You locked her away. You sent her to some hellhole treatment center, a place that wasn't even licensed. I've got the transfer papers, the payments, the fake medical releases. You didn't help her, you killed her, and then you covered it up." The guests are on their feet now, some heading for the exits, others pulling out phones, probably recording, tweeting, calling their lawyers. The wedding's a circus, and I'm the ringmaster. But I'm not done, not yet. I turn to Abigail, who's still on the floor, looking up at me with red-rimmed eyes. "I'm sorry you're finding out like this," I say, and I mean it. You didn't deserve to be lied to, but they don't get to keep doing this. They don't get to pretend they're perfect while Lily rots in the ground, and I'm left picking up the pieces. She doesn't answer, just buries her face in her hands. Preston's gone, probably halfway to his car by now. The band stopped playing, the chandeliers casting long shadows over a room that's falling apart. My mother's voice breaks through, weak and trembling. "Jade, please, we didn't mean for any of this." "Didn't mean it," I snap, turning to her. "You let it happen. You stood by while he," I point at my father, "destroyed her and then me. You don't get to play innocent now." I take a deep breath, steadying myself. The final blow's coming, and I need to land it just right. I reach into my clutch one last time, pulling out a small USB drive. It's unassuming, black, the size of a thumbnail, but it's a grenade. "This," I say, holding it up, "is everything." Bank records, emails, forged documents, audio of Dad bribing a cop to bury the hit and run. Proof they paid off the treatment center to take Lily and keep her quiet. It's all here, and as of 10 minutes ago, it's with the FBI. The room explodes again, shouts, gasps, a glass shattering somewhere. My father's lunging at me again, but Ethan's faster, pinning his arm behind his back with a move so smooth it's almost casual. "You're done," I tell him, my voice low but clear. "You don't get to hide anymore." The ballroom's a war zone now. My father's struggling against Ethan's grip, his face a mask of rage and panic. My mother's crumpled in her chair, mascara streaked and muttering apologies to no one. Abigail's still on the floor, her wedding gown a ruined heap, her sobs echoing in the K. The guests are a mix of horrified spectators and fleeing rats, some snapping photos, others bolting for the doors. The USB drive in my hand feels like a loaded gun, and I've just pulled the trigger. "You can't do this," my father bellows, his voice cracking. "You have no proof. It's lies, all of it." "Lies?" I step closer, holding the drive up so he can see it. "This isn't a bluff, Dad. It's 14 years of your dirty laundry, emails, wire transfers, voicemails. You think I'd come here without making sure it's airtight? The FBI's got copies, so does my lawyer, and by morning, every news outlet from here to New York will have it too." Ethan releases him, stepping back with a look that says he's done playing nice. My father stumbles, clutching his chest like he's about to keel over. "Maybe he will. I don't care anymore." "You're bluffing," he gasps, but it's weak. He knows me better than that. "Try me," I say, my voice cold. "You've spent your life betting on people staying quiet. Not this time." The doors at the far end of the room burst open, and I hear the sound I've been waiting for. Boots on marble, sharp and purposeful. 4 men in dark suits stride in, badges glinting under the chandeliers. FBI, right on schedule. Ethan's tech wizardry got the files to them faster than I had hoped. And now, the cavalry's here to clean up the mess. "Richard Armstrong," one of them calls, his voice cutting through the noise. "You're under arrest for tax evasion, bribery, and suspicion of child endangerment. You have the right to remain silent." The agent's still reading the Miranda rights as 2 others move toward my mother, who's shrieking now, a high-pitched wail that grates on my nerves. "Elizabeth Armstrong, you're under arrest as an accessory." My father's cuffed first, his hands yanked behind his back. He's yelling about lawyers and lawsuits, but it's all noise now, empty threats from a man who's lost everything. My mother's next, her wrists bound as she begs, "Jade, please stop this." I don't answer. I don't even look at her. Abigail's on her feet, staggering toward me, her face a wreck. "Why?" she chokes out. "Why now? Why today?" I meet her eyes, and for a second, I feel a pang of something, pity maybe. She's not the monster here, she's just collateral damage. "Because today's the day they couldn't ignore me," I say. "The day they had to face what they did, to Lily, to me, to you. I'm sorry it's your wedding, Abby, but I'm not sorry it's over." She stares at me, then collapses back onto the floor, her groom nowhere in sight. Preston's long gone, probably calling off the honeymoon and his prenup lawyer. The guests who haven't fled are filming, their phones out like vultures circling a corpse. Let them. This isn't about hiding anymore. The agents are escorting my parents out now, past the stunned crowd and the toppled champagne flutes. My father's still shouting, but it's muffled as the doors swing shut behind them. The silence that follows is heavy, broken only by Abigail's quiet crying and the distant hum of the band packing up. Ethan's at my side again, his hand on my shoulder. "You okay?" he asks, his voice soft but steady. I take a deep breath, feeling the weight of 14 years lift. Just a little. "Yeah," I say. "I think I am." We turn to leave, stepping over shattered glass and abandoned heels. The air outside is cool, sharp against my skin, and I realize I'm trembling, not from fear, but from the sheer release of it all. Ethan pulls me close, his arm around me, and we walk toward the car in silence. There's nothing left to say, not yet. But as we reach the parking lot, I hear footsteps behind me. I turn and it's Abigail, her gown dragging, her face swollen from crying. She stops a few feet away, staring at me like she's seeing me for the first time. "Is it true?" she asks, her voice barely a whisper. About Lily? All of it? I nod. Every word. I've got more. Photos, records, her diary. I'll show you if you want, but not tonight. She swallows hard, then looks down at the ring on her finger. Still there despite everything. I didn't know, she says. I swear I didn't know. I believe you, I say. And I do. You were a kid. They lied to us both. She nods, tears spilling again, then turns and walks back toward the estate, her silhouette small against the glowing windows. I don't know if she'll ever forgive me. Or them. That's her fight now, not mine. Ethan opens the car door for me and I slide in, the leather cool against my legs. He gets in beside me, starts the engine, and we pull away from the Crestwood estate. The chandeliers fade in the rearview mirror, along with the life I used to know. Where to? He asks, glancing at me with a faint smile. Home, I say, leaning back in the seat. But first, let's stop for a burger. I'm starving. He laughs, a real deep laugh that cuts through the last of my tension. Burgers it is. As we drive into the night, I feel something I haven't felt in years. Peace, not the shallow kind that comes with forgetting, but the hard-earned kind that comes with winning. Lily's name is out there now, her story told. My parents will face justice, or at least the closest thing to it money can't buy. Abigail's got a chance to see the truth if she's brave enough to take it. And me, I'm free, the wedding's in ruins, the Armstrong legacy's a smoking wreck, and I'm the one who lit the match. They thought I'd crawl back broken. Instead, I walked out victorious, and damn, does it feel good.